And there we are. Everyone should be able to see us and hear us. Welcome to the show. We're here to play, The Quiet Year, Thunder Rift. Yeah, we're mishmashing, right? So, yeah, we ended our Thunder Rift campaign like a month ago now, with our dear sweet McGavin finally getting his way and consuming all of the remaining halflings in the world. And with that, he gained the energy needed to ascend to godhood. And like any good friend, he took his friends with him. So the entire party ascended to godhood, along with his faithful donkey. What was the donkey's name?
Chubbs.
Chubbs.
Sorry, I gotta get back in the voice.
That's fine. And along with Courage. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to set up our, let's think of like season 2 of the Thunder Rift. We're going to play the Quiet Year map building game. You all should go check it out. But we're doing it. These players, they're doing it in character. So it's going to be them as gods influencing the Thunder Rift. And then we'll get back into the Thunder Rift and play in the world that they have influenced. Just real quick before we do introductions, players, if you look in the journal section, there's Thunder Rift questions. Everyone's got a document there. I'm just going to open up this spare one. So as we're playing over, I'm thinking 2 sessions. As we're playing, I want you to work on filling this stuff out. What's the title of your character now as a god? What domains does your god rule over? What's their holy symbol look like? Who in the Thunder Rift worships you? What do you call your clergy? And what is your religion opposed to? Like, what is the thing that your followers have a tenant to smite and strike out? And then also, what are some of the primary commandments that you are going to bestow on your worshipers? So just as we're doing this, think of those. Also, feel free to keep notes in those documents, because I will be keeping notes, but, I don't always observe the reality that's happening in front of me. So more input is always great. Anyway, let's do introductions. We're just going to go down the row and then kick over to the other row in no particular order. Dan, who are you playing? You're muted too. You're not muted. Your audio is not working. We will come back to you and move down to Jeremy. Jeremy, who are you playing?
I'm going to be playing for Bounty, the cruel striker, as it were.
Nice.
Obviously, my symbol is going to have to be an axe. Perhaps it's been drawn to where it hews through the heavens or some such.
Nice. Very cool.
I hate swamps, and I hate lizard people.
That sounds right. I think we've got some of that list already populated. Over on the other side, up at the top, Jeff, what you got?
Hi, I'm McGavin. I gotta get back into the voice. It's been a couple of weeks. So, right, I haven't quite figured it out, but I'm thinking maybe like an arrow, that's the clean way, or a loincloth, because that'd be fun. Probably wanted to, but we'll see. Well, I don't know what kind of tone we want. I don't have the voice yet. It's been a couple weeks.
It has been. Maybe a stick man made of arrows wearing a loincloth?
Right, but he's going to be very short, stick man.
Crossbow bolts. There you go.
Yeah. So, oh, goodness. But yeah, hi.
All right.
The one true halfling.
All right. Bert.
I am Mufune, farm boy turned thief turned god. My title amongst my worshiper is He Who Bashes from the Shadows.
I like it. That's cool sounding. That's
my
cool
symbol is, of course, the griffin.
Oh, yeah, because you went out riding a griffin, so to speak.
Yes, and very people who worship me are those with low prospects but much luck.
Nice. Dan, any luck? What happened? I could have sworn you spoke earlier. Do you need to drop and then come back real quick?
It's showing he's
Okay.
muted.
Well, now it's showing is muted, but he said in the Zoom chat that it's not listening to any of his audio devices. I blame Bill Gates. Is that right anymore? He doesn't have anything to do with Microsoft. I don't know. I blame someone. So
Probably Blizzard, Diablo Immortal. I hear it's
it
really
is
bad.
all
their fault.
Yeah.
Diablo Immortal's fault.
Yeah,
Of course, now that Dan's not here, Dan has been playing the shit out of Diablo Immortal.
that's nice.
I was gonna play it until I realized that it was so heavy microtransaction. Like I don't. No thanks.
It's crazy.
It says it connected to his audio.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, did it work?
I can hear
You
you.
can hear him. Can't see it.
Hooray!
Can't see you, but I can hear you.
It's using my webcam at the moment. We'll see if it'll actually use my regular audio. But
Okay. Baby steps. See it. Dan, where did you go? Whoa, he's a robot.
Oh my God. Who knew?
Dan is a robot.
I mean, I'm kind of all for this setting heaven robot god.
I mean, sure, why not?
He stripped out all the pieces that were halfling and replaced them with cybernetics.
hear that at least.
I can hear you there, yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to use the webcam microphone for now.
Okay. You got a regular video as well?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll use webcam microphone for now. Some Dan audio is better than no Dan audio.
It sounds like the voice of a god from the heavens through a little tin can.
Hey,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Okay. So yeah, quiet year. You know, I should have studied this, but who cares, right? We're just going to make it all up as we go. But I guess what we do first is everyone sketches a piece of terrain. And you know what? Order of the overlay. I'm going to roll me a D10. You're all numbered 1 through 5. Divide by 2. Do math. And it's going to be Jeff. Draw
Right.
a piece of terrain. Now we're working on the Thunder Rifts map. I made it black and white, so it's a little easier to perceive.
Okay. So I'm just gonna draw on top of what's already there.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to the place of my ascension. I'm gonna go to the dark pit.
The butthole.
And okay, I want to establish something first before I go crazy, because I feel like I bogarted the tone of the last one. And if how serious in tone do we want this next arc of the Thunder Rift story to be?
Do you think we're
You know what I
capable
mean?
of full serious?
That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
that's
I don't
the thing.
think
Like
so.
I don't want to dictate too much, because I feel like I drove the truck over the cliff last time.
I
So,
had a great time riding that truck going over the cliff. So
Mhm.
all right. So
full McGavin. Ain't no half McGavins here.
So, for a very long time, McGavin referred to the dark pit as the anus in the ground, and
Yeah.
that's also where he ascended. So, I think I'm just going to make a giant gaping hole, much bigger, that encompasses like a huge section of that terrain. So, like where the dark pit was, it is now bigger. And so, let me just go ahead and draw. So it's just going to be like a giant circular like canyon something. So there you go.
I
It got bigger.
love it. I can't do that with this. I can't. Let me go over here.
Leave it to Jeff to spread the gate.
See, that's why I asked first.
Oh, dang it. I was hoping you could lock drawn images together. All right. So, yeah, the dark pit is bigger, darker, pittier, as it should be. All right. We're just going to start going in order. We're going to do things clockwise because that makes sense to my eyeballs. Clockwise for the stream. not clockwise for whatever order you're all seeing it in, because it's different for everyone. So Bert.
All right. So I am going to go for up here in the upper Great Grassland. There is a drawing tools. How does this work? There we go. There is a mesa that straddles. There we go. The rivers run through the bottom of the mesa and it rises up high to a very flat plateau.
Nice. I can't ask that now. It's not time for asking questions. There's a mesa that all of these rivers connect in the middle of.
Yeah.
Very
This
cool.
we can only put in geographical things, right? So
Um,
that's why I'm going with that. Otherwise, I'd say there's a huge city up there. But
general landscape, brief discussion, yada, yada, yada. It can be pretty much anything. Examples say, how about a community in the Rocky Desert? So if you want to draw a great mesa with
there's
a city
a
on
mesa
top.
with a great city on top, because it's hard to steal from folks unless they're in a big city.
Sure. I want to draw a little house up there. Show that there's inhabitants up there. All right. Jeremy, what do you got?
All right, let's get down to Marshwood here. You know what looks good right over that swampy area? Some fucking salt flats. Years upon years of dumping salt in those stupid swamps.
It's just, I guess we'll just color that all out. Call it swamp flats.
Right.
Nice. Very cool. Dan.
Boy, I don't even know what to do with this one. I think maybe the bizarre community around the barracks keep is probably what we're missing, as our little union and everything like that spiraled out of control with us gone.
Okay, so there's this now sprawling kind of city surrounding Barracks Keep. Sure. Let's just do, we're gonna call this, scribble that out. It's all salt flats. That's the first thing. Oh, you're doing it. You did it.
I did it. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Get rid of mine. Okay. And Dan, I'll let you draw yours. I guess I need to make something. I haven't put any thought to this.
Just absorb Torlin, maybe even Silvercrest.
Yeah, just draw it all around there, man.
That might even be just like the whole kind of area around here.
Like everything inside the rivers is now this giant metropolis.
Yeah.
That's cool. God,
Oh, excuse you, screen.
that's the wrong way.
It just started scrolling while I was drawing.
What do I want to make? I want to do something in the Gloom Fens because we never visited that place. I'm going to take it back old school DOK. The Gloom Fens is now a thriving forest populated by one monstrous predatory creature, the Great Dick Bear.
Oh man, that's classic right there.
Oh no, it deleted. Why would you do that? And that Gloom Fens is now Dick Bear Forest. Give that bear a big old dong on its head. That's kind of a bear.
Some people call it the Dongwoods.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, what's next? So we did that. Now I think we just start taking turns. Everyone here is familiar with the Quiet Year, where we each go around, we draw a card, respond to what's on the card, and then you take your turn. And on your turn, essentially you've got three things you can do. Wait, my son is being very loud. You can discover something new, so draw something new on the map. hold a discussion. You can either ask a question or make a statement, and we all go around and answer that question or add on to that statement, or you can start a new project, create something new on the map that the people in the Thunder Rift have to work on. So we're just going to keep going in order, which means Bert, I should have had you all get this stuff beforehand. So you know where the macro bar is in Foundry, Bert? Bottom left, is it?
Yes.
And you expand that. Do you see the 4 icons sitting in there?
Summer, spring, winter, autumn. Yep.
Cool. If you don't, so I see you shaking your head, Jeff. If you click on the folder underneath of it,
Yeah.
those 4 should populate and you can then drag it onto your bar. So we're going to start with spring. So Bert, I'll let you go ahead and click on spring and draw our first spring card.
So just click on it.
Yeah, there it is. And then the little Queen of Hearts thing, if you just click on that, it'll give you the...
What's the most beautiful thing in this area, or what's the most hideous thing in this area? When it says this area, so it's the entire landmass?
Yeah, wherever you want it to be.
All right. Whereabouts was the halfling hole?
It's that giant butthole that Jeff drew on the ground. Let me make sure.
That's it
right.
right
Kind of
there?
southwest.
Yeah, it's
Okay. So
bigger.
the most hideous thing in the area is graven in the mountains. Right next to it is the visage of Jeff's character at the point of ascension, screaming out into the world. It was just kind of imposed on the rocks.
Oh wow, like nuclear flash,
Yeah.
like his image
Nice.
etched into it. All right.
Okay.
So we don't have any dice to reduce for projects, and also on dice, the way the rules naturally say, we all decide how many weeks it should take. Fuck that. We're just going to roll a d6, and that's how long it's going to take.
Nice.
So, Bert, that means you get to start. Do you want to discover something new? So make something new on the map, hold a discussion, or start a project.
So are we pre-assuming that everything that happened, so our castle exists? Or
Oh, yeah. Anything
so
that
it's
happened in the
there.
campaign exists.
Okay. We're about 100 years out from that.
No, this is right after gods don't
okay.
experience time. So this could be immediate. This could be when we start playing, it'll be like, anywhere from 10 years to 100 years after. But this, we're going to presume, is like right after you all ascend and start changing things.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to, so I can ask a question, right?
Yeah.
Ask a question. So, halflings, much like insects, provided a vital part of the ecology because they ate shit. Okay, now with all the halflings gone, and of course, no one ever really did anything with their shit because the halflings always came and took it. So the question is, what happens to all the shit that's piling up now that no halflings are coming by to eat it? And no one knows what to do with it because they've never had to do anything with it. So we've got this void in the ecosystem. So that's the question. What happens to sanitation now?
Yeah. For Bowdy, you get to answer it first.
But I'm sure there's some sort of productive thing you could do. But I remember that one orc war chief guy who tried to be all condescending to us. I say we dump all the shit on the orcs. Caravan upon caravan of shit dumped right on their borders.
I love it. Dan.
Maybe.
Self-domain of spite.
All right. Sorry, I just got my audio fixed, I think.
It sounds better.
Windows Update did its Windows Update thing, and I forgot it resets the properties on the mic input. Makes them awful. So we're spring.
Yep.
An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken, but perhaps repairable. What is it, and what would it be useful for? Or an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it? I feel like the cursed piece.
Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I was half paying attention. You need to answer Bert's question. That's what we're doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
That's
my
fine.
bad. I'll save that for later. What was your question?
So, Bert, I'll let you recap.
My apologies.
That's okay.
So the halflings performed a necessary thing in the ecosystem, getting rid of all the poop. They don't do that anymore, and no one knows what to do with the poop. So what happens to all the poop?
Boy, maybe that's actually what filled in the marshwood.
Well, we already have it. It's a salt flat now. But if you want, maybe they're layering salt over the layers of shit.
Either, either that, or where else can we fill with shit? Where is someplace that we didn't like other than the swamp?
It was really a swamp.
I mean, it was really just the swamp that we hated. I assume that we just got to fill somewhere with shit, and I want to put it next to the metro. I don't know anything about the monolith. Maybe
filling the monolith.
Yeah, maybe we just fill the monolith.
Okay. That moves it to me. I like the idea of the orcs, the Horned Hills, their area is now the great shit pile. And because of that, so in that, what happens to all the shit now that the halflings are gone? Not only is it getting dumped there, the orcs' digestive ability is completely reworked so that now they can survive on a diet of entirely nothing but shit.
On those poor orcs.
It turns out they really were halflings in disguise all along.
Yeah, Jeff.
I can add a new thing it's used for. Is that what I'm doing, or am I building off of something that's already
Either
answered?
or. You can do whichever you want to do.
So what I'm thinking of is that in some places, it's actually used in similar ways that clay is, and that's for the creation of art and pottery and that type of thing. And so there is just this large flood of industry coming from these other communities of shit works. So, or shittery. Yeah, shittery. I like shittery.
I love it. Absolutely. Okay.
We're all adults.
We're all adults.
So they say.
Okay. So that would be the end.
Oh God, pootery. That's so good.
Pootery. All right, I'm adding that.
Oh,
Okay, I'm adding that to the end. Okay. Let's see. That was Bert's turn. Now we move on to Jeremy. Or Bowdy.
all right. So I'm clicking into
Spring.
all right, click spring, and then just click roll.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. Okay, a 9 of hearts. What does that do? Oh no! A charismatic young girl convinces Mitty to help her with an elaborate scheme. Oh no! What is it, and who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect, or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt Minnie into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond? Well, this one's pretty obvious. It's fucking Karen, my ex-wife. She just won't let it go. And by God, I made the mistake of doing a proper and holy Moradin-themed wedding, what with her dad being a cleric and all. I did it for the free bar, and I didn't really care about it. But seeing as our communion, it was seen before the gods, she's trying to lay stake to all of this nonsense and gather proper legal officials into it.
Okay, so you got to start whatever Karen's project is.
It's like the most over the top like settlement, like a divorce mediation, so to speak, like divine mediation. She's trying to sink her claws into my niche of the divinity. So she's getting her lawyers, I'm getting my lawyers. It's just ridiculous.
All right, roll me a d6.
Okay.
We're just gonna put up off to the side. I want to write in 3 weeks.
I, of course, am going to hire the best lawyer I've ever met. He's a little hobgoblin bastard by the name of Puck Puck. He's ruthless.
Oh, wow.
Him and his little potato, like, attaché buddy or whatever.
Is it going to be like a temple courthouse?
The holy tuber has reached these lands from far and wide.
All right. So now you get to take an action. So do you want to discover something new, create something new in the lands, hold a discussion, or start a project?
Well, I trust Puck Puck to handle that there project. There's no way it could go wrong. It's not like most of my life has been defined by my lack of paying attention to things of that nature. So I'm going to start at a military academy.
Okay.
Right over there in the Salt Flats, I think. Just trotting on the bones of all those dead lizard people.
Sure. So that'll be a project. So go and roll me a d6.
Okay.
So it'll take 2 weeks. And let's make that red so I can see it. I'm actually going to copy that and put that up here. Okay. Oh, and actually, by the way the turns work, so you draw a card, right? Then you adjust dice. So at the Divine Mediation Services, we're already down to 2 weeks left on that. Okay, so that was for Bowdy. Conifer.
Let me draw another card again here.
Yeah, I reset it, so just draw fresh.
Dang. I had an idea for that one.
Okay.
Oh no, there's another community somewhere on your map. Where are they and what sets them apart from you? Or what belief or practice helps to unify your community? I suppose that we probably have someone who's probably like worshippers of the old halflings somewhere in the world.
Okay. Go ahead and draw that on the map somehow.
Maybe they actually live under the monolith that we're filling with shit.
Oh, wow. You're just making them stronger. All right.
Wait. You're saying that there are halflings left in the world?
Not halflings, but people who believe in the halfling ways.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I was gonna leave.
Yep, halfling worshippers. All right, I reduced the dice. There's a week left on both Divine Mediation Services and the Military Academy. Oh my gosh, Melissa, thank you for those bits. Melissa, you get to ask a question that we have to answer now. We will do this after Dan's turn, then pick up regular order. So Dan, you now get to take an action.
She clearly hasn't been watching, otherwise she would not be giving us those bits. Like what we've done so far.
What else?
So yeah,
Have some fun.
discover.
Is there like more of the world outside of Thunder Rift, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess the question would be is like, or I'll phrase this first. Are we gods of just the Thunder Rift, or are we gods of like the world outside of it as well?
Okay, so we all get to go around, answer this question, which means I will get to go first. Are you all gods of just the Thunder Rift or the world at large? And I'm going to do a cop out and say, of course, the entire world. Why not? And then pass it to Jeff.
So what do I do now? So I'm
Answer.
sorry. I've only done this once.
No, that's fine. You're just going to answer Dan's question.
I could throw a little caveat on that too,
Sure,
if it helps
sure.
for food for thought.
Not
Is
just.
is that a problem, or how does that help or hurt us?
I was gonna say, not just this world, but all of the worlds and planes of. I mean, like we're dominion over all of it. So like whatever planes or other worlds or however we view like alternatives, like we do in like the traditional sense of D&D. Yeah, we have dominion over it all.
Okay.
But we really like to focus on this one because it's where our roots are.
Yeah. Bert.
Well, of course, it's not just this geographical area. I mean, how could he have ascended if only these halflings were killed? All halflings everywhere perished. But we aren't the only pantheon. There are other gods out here.
Okay. Let's see. That's going to move us down to Verbouty.
I mean, I agree with everybody else. It's clear that we are gods further than this domain. And I do agree there's probably other gods, but the important thing is to remember that gods are the number one cause of death. You ask a person, do you believe in God? And they say no, you kill them. You ask them, do you believe in my God? They say yes, they're fine. If they say no, you say, my God's got a bigger dick than your God, and you kill them.
Is this setting us up for Highlander just with gods?
I mean, we can't stop. We already ate all the halflings. If we want to gain more power, well, there are ways.
Okay.
Is this going to be like a big PvP battle in the end where it's just only one of us survives? I don't want to do that. I want to hurt you
No,
all.
I thought we were going to go hunt the other pantheon.
Okay.
And then we absorb their power.
Mm.
But there can be only one.
There can only be one gang of gods.
Mm.
This is West Side Story here. Okay, so Dan asked, I answered, Jeff answered, Bert answered, Jeremy answered. Dan, do you want to answer your question?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we don't need to like have our like believers and stuff like that start going out into the rest of the worlds and killing other people's believers so that we can weaken their gods.
I mean, they can always assimilate.
Well, I mean, we give that choice second, I think.
Right. It's kneel or die. It's not just die. I mean, we're not savages.
Okay.
Unless they're halflings somehow, or something resembling halflings.
Yeah.
Under the height restriction.
Okay. Yeah. Chop
Perhaps.
every. Okay. All right. So that's Dan. That's your turn.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna take a turn. So I'm gonna roll for spring. Are there children? If there are, what is their role in the community? How old are the eldest members of the community? What unique needs do they have? 76. How old are the eldest? 76. What unique needs do they have? None, because they all get tossed off a cliff at 76.
At the stoop.
I like it. Nice and easy. And who doesn't like the old TV show Dinosaurs? All right. I reduce dice. So the military academy and the divine mediation services are now complete. So I get to discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. I want to discussion and ask a question. And it's going to be the school that the gods started before they left. What all kind of things does it teach? What curricula does the school cover? Does the Flying Dick School cover, or whatever it is?
I assume that's located in our metro, our sprawling metro.
All right.
It's also a college town too now.
It's the biggest college town. Jeff, you get to answer this question first.
Okay, so I think it is going to. Okay, so one of the things it teaches is trying to think of the best way. I was going to do some quick Google search and try to get the best phrasing for this. But part of the curriculum is like worker rights, unionization, all that kind of stuff. So it teaches basically, it teaches that kind of concept, like
Nice.
labor rights, like legal labor laws, stuff like that.
That is fucking solid. All right.
I mean, that's pretty spot on for.
Yeah. Mifune,
Combat cookery.
did you say combat cookery?
You must not only be able to create a fantastic 5-course meal, you must be able to end a life with anything on that table.
Perfection. For Bowdy.
I'm going to say accounting, being able to cook the books, keeping people out of your money, economics, and that sort of thing.
Nice. Cool. Conifer.
Boy, this one's got a special place. It's gonna have to be like a medical school, but it's gonna specialize in like cross species, like amputations.
What? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. And grafting or whatever, because the lizard arm. Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's like grafting or whatever you want to call it.
Grafting. Yeah, it's gonna have to be like chimera making sort of stuff.
So instead of like studying abroad, you do a semester like living as like, well, let's see what it's like to, have some dwarf legs for a semester.
Yeah, maybe they work closely with the military academy for, on under the level,
It's kind of like the old like Ninja
stuff.
Turtle toys where you could take the arms off of one and put it on another.
Yeah,
Because they all
The same socket.
Oh, I
Yeah.
used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
And mixed and match He-Man, and like I brought out my old He-Man ones to match with like my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was awesome.
Yep.
There was one I had where I had a He-Man toy and there was some other arm that had the same socket size. So this dude just had this giant fucking monster arm. It was the best.
Yep. Brilliant, Daniel.
Yeah.
I gave Leonardo four legs once because
why not?
yeah, that'd be terrifying, but he could use them maybe.
Can't grip that katana now, you son of a bitch.
So that was Dan's answer. I'm going to answer my question too, and mine's going to be easy because I am answering for Courage on this. Ogre husbandry.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
There's where it is. Jeff, it's your turn. Draw a card.
That's so good. Still in spring, right?
Yep, still in spring.
I got J for Jeff.
Nice.
Okay, you see a good omen. What is it? Or you see a bad omen. What is it? Okay. I am going to say I see Oh, see, this one's dark. I shouldn't say this.
I think you should.
I
Dark
got
is good.
man,
Dark is good.
I'm gonna say I see a bad omen. And the omen is that there have been children being born with their legs kind of like half the size of normal legs. And so people are almost seeing them as halflings.
The 3/4lings. They're the new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a rash of like really short limbed and short people being born of late. Or maybe it's not a rash. Maybe it just happens every now and then. And that's like, oh my God, it's another one.
It's like
Without fact.
Hank's dad from King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I think that's called a flap.
Okay. I've got
All
it
right,
recorded.
so then-
So no dice to jest. So yeah, discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
Okay. So
Oh, Melissa finally came up with her question. After Jeff, after your turn, we're hitting Jeff.
go ahead and do
Melissa.
it. Go ahead and do it so I can think some more.
Okay, that's fine. So Melissa's question about food. What's the food trade situation? What are the famous foods in the area? What stories exist about who was killed while eating a meal? And now there are family feuds. Oh God. It's who has the best mac and cheese all over again. So Jeff, we're going to start with you. You have to answer Melissa's question.
All right. Sorry. So something about food, like what's the food trade situation? What's the famous foods in the area? What stories exist about who was killed while eating a meal? Okay. So meat, it's a meat area. There's a lot of meat trade. And so the main delicacy is what's called faux halfling. And it's basically meat that has been aged and tenderized so as to reflect or as best represent what old halfling tasted like.
Love it. Okay. Bert, do you want to answer that?
Where's the question again?
So it's in chat. So my question is something about food. What's the food trade situation? What are the famous foods in the area? What stories exist about who was killed while eating a meal and now there are family feuds? So just, what kind of food is eaten? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a meat-rich area.
Yeah.
Of course, any offal or anything close to poop is considered a hazard delicacy. It's you eat it on a dare if you're being very brave. But there are lots of stories about deaths over meals because of the rise of the combat cookery classes. Chefs don't take no shit anymore. So, when you say anything bad about a meal, you could wind up dead. There's laws passed. You criticize a chef, if he can kill you, he can kill you. That's the law. That's how it is.
And
brings a new meaning to the Iron Chef. It's actually a battle royale.
There are now honor wars or honor battles against whether or not that particular mac and cheese was good or not.
Nice.
okay. For Bowdy.
Well, I'm kind of piggyback here a little bit. We've got the halfling fun and whatnot, and we've also got the question about have there been any feuds? Well, McGavin did come to rise due to his massive consumption. I mean, he just ate so much food. So there's actually become a big new trend of the sport of what do you call it when people just eat as fucking much as they can, right?
Oh, like competitive eating. Yeah.
Yeah, there's competitive eating contests. And so you'll have families, clans come together to see whose clan can eat the most pho. And man, they'll go for days, some of these people, just consuming gallon upon gallon of this pho. And they've argued sometimes over like whether or not if you vomit that should be counted against your total and whatnot. And you've got some family feuds that have gotten real nasty over these things.
That's fantastic. Honestly, I think if you vomit, it does count against it because McGavin didn't puke when he consumed all of the halflings. So I think it's sacrilege.
Even bringing that thought up, you think I would puke? Come on, that's sacrilege.
There we go.
I mean, there have been people that have been kicked out of their family for puking during these competitions. Just
Rightfully
shunned.
so.
How dare you puke during this holy occasion?
Yeah. Conifer.
Kind of going along some similar lines here. I feel like famous for the wrong reason, perhaps, is soup.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
So bring up soup. You better be prepared to die. Nobody has soup anymore, except for probably those halfling worshippers. Soup is forbidden across the lands.
Okay, that's.
But everybody knows soup was had when the halflings died.
Okay, so I need to answer this. So there's, faux halfling meat. Poop's a hazard delicacy. Hazard delicacy. Competitive eating between clans. Soup is bad news. And God, what else could we put? Because McGavin was the eater. Like, does this need to be? It does need to be McGavin focused.
I mean, never mind.
Okay. Let's see. You know what? We did have someone else who was very. So, food trade, there's food wars, right? Very specifically over the finest exotic foods and spices. Not exotic, but the finest foods and spices. Because all of these, combat cooking, the combat chefs all want the best. So it's very common for, these chefs just to go to battle in the streets for the best carton of eggs or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Okay. So that means we're back on your turn, Jeff.
Okay, so I got it. I think I got it. I'm going to discover something new. So it could be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both, something like that. So it's a introduce a new situation. So deep in the Bone Hills, like way to the southwest, there is a extraordinarily violent cult of self-mutilators who eat their own shins and make bone bows and just destroy anyone who comes anywhere close. It's like they are basically the purest form of like demented McGavin worshippers. Because they use bows, bone bows. They eat their own shins because they remember McGavin wasn't very big. They eat, so like self-mutilate, and they just eat anyone who comes close.
Okay, that's intense.
Extraordinarily dangerous. Yeah, it's
and
super
terrifying.
intense down there. Yeah, it's fucking scary in the Bone Hills.
I love it. Okay, cool.
So we should go there first.
Definitely first.
And then our next characters.
Yeah. All right, so we're back at Bert, which means, Bert, you're drawing your second card from Spring. This will be Bert's last Spring card.
An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? Or an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it?
Dang, I wanted this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the orbs.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah, so more of those orbs existed and more have been uncovered and found. So I'm going to go with the second. An old piece of machinery discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it? They don't. They just throw it in the big old pile of shit. They just hope that the decades and decades of piling on top of them just seals it off forever.
Very cool. All right, so we don't have any dice to adjust. So, Bert, your turn to take an action.
All right, I'm going to build something. The city, as yet undefined, that's on top of this mesa here, but controls basically this river that runs through everywhere else. Is open. It's open to trade. So there is at the base of the mesa here is a trading hub, like a port that they can ship things down. I think elevation's higher to the north, lower to the south, so everything runs south.
Yeah.
Because the rivers are coming out of that mountain at Wizard Spire.
Yeah.
So they have a healthy trade center at the base here, which is very nice. The locals come. It's like a huge open market.
Okay. So roll me a d6.
Oh,
Just 2 weeks to make that. That is the wrong tool. Just gonna write over here. I'll call that Mesa Trade Hub. And you said you rolled a 2? So 2 weeks to complete. Okay. Bert, that's your turn. So Jeremy, for Bowdy's second turn on spring.
Okay, another turn for spring. Let's roll. See what we get. All right, here. Let's see what we got. Someone new arrives who, or two of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? That's a hard thing to choose. It's fun to introduce somebody new. Two of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? I want to introduce somebody new. That sounds like a fun thing to do. You know what? I want to piggyback off that cross-planar idea that was there.
Okay.
There is some sort of wizard who's been like following major weaves in the nexus of reality, and he picked up on something major here, and he's come here to study what's going on. Why this has become such a major hub in the multiverse. They call him Tim.
It's beautiful.
All right. So we'll adjust the dice. So the trade hub has 1 week left. And then for Bowdy, if you want to take your turn.
Let's see. And I hope you'll forgive me. I forgot the name. There's that one work that we wanted to put into power, right?
Yeah.
I want to do basically like a project, or however you want to say it. We're kicking out the old bastard, and we're going to prop him up as the new guy. And basically the folks that are down with him, they maybe get a piece of the land that's not the shithills, right?
Okay.
So I want to do a project where we keep our word and we help prop him up after we get rid of the other guy.
Okay. So just this scheme. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Okay.
4 turns.
All right.
Okay. That's your turn. That means next up is Conifer.
All right. Let's see. Where does everyone sleep? Who is happy? Who is unhappy with his arrangement, and why? Or what natural predators roam this area? Are you safe? I'm trying to think of something that I feel like it's got to be predators, probably.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of what would be there now that the halflings are gone, or something like that.
What filled that? Oh.
What was that?
Dung beetles.
Dung beetles. Like, they gotta be like Starship Trooper
Oh yeah.
style
Yeah.
dung beetles. Secretly, that's the one thing that the halflings were doing in defense of their food, just keeping the monstrous dung beetle population down.
They kept the hive away.
All right. We reduced, so the trade hub is now up and running. And there's 3 weeks left on this orc leadership scheme. So Dan, take your turn.
I kind of want to find a way to connect the metro and the military academy.
Okay. What are you going to make?
Maybe we have some sort of like really semi-futuristic transportation system. And by that I mean like just probably a road that's really out tall.
Like a monorail?
Perhaps some sort of highway. Taken in the literal sense that it's just a road that was built high up. Although monorail would be cool too. Maybe it's powered by magic.
Ooh. All right. So Dan, roll me a d6.
Five.
Okay. Draw that on the map the best that you can.
I think it's just going to be 2 straight lines.
Okay. That is going to move it to my turn. Let's see. A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? An old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done? I'm going to go with the young boy starts digging. Because the old man atrocities, that's easy. He would have just, you know, been out there making more halflings with, you know, he's a halfling Casanova. So that's no fun. So young boy starts digging, and what does he find? He finds yams. Yams of unusual size and ferocity. Yes. And I'll just leave it at that. That way we can expand it later if we want to. All right. I reduced some dice. I like asking questions, so let's just go ahead and ask a question. These yams of monstrous size and ferocity that were found underground. Well, what's up with them? McGavin, you get to go first.
They're actually conscious beings.
Okay.
They're disciples of the Holy Tuber.
I mean, we brought Puck into it.
It's
so
there. Like Puck's in this. I feel like it's here.
I'm so happy. I can finally cleanse my guilt.
Oh no, you're never living that down.
No. Actually, I have no regrets.
Okay.
I know you do.
Mifune, what can you tell me about these yams?
They are indeed the offspring of the great one potato god that has spread his eye stalks through all of the universe. In this world, they are growing much like a fungi beneath the ground, though they're all interconnected. They all talk to each other, so you always have eyes on you. The Spuds know. They know everything.
Spuds, no.
Fresh enough to not be gross.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jeff answered. Bird answered. For Bowdy, you answer.
You know how people talk about how Vikings used to like take piss and shrooms and shit like that and just gobble it up before a battle? We don't do that anymore. We make vodka out of these fucking things. And when you drink that vodka before a battle, you are just raging nuts.
Okay. That's intense. There we go. Conifer.
This one's going to be an easy one. It's obviously the coming of the Yamageddon.
The coming of the Yam again.
The Yamageddon.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
It's the end of all things brought upon us by the yams.
I asked this question. Do I want to answer it? Yeah, they're sentient beings, prophets of the holy tuber, offspring of Russell, and they grow this fungal hive mind with their root networks. You can make vodkas out of them that give you extreme battle rage. They foretell of the oncoming Yamageddon, but they have a very strange language that very few can speak because 100% of their language consists of meh. And that's it. So just whatever system we move into, there's going to be a specialty language you can take, which is Holy Tuber.
Wonderful.
Okay, that was my turn, right? Whose turn was that? Means Jeff, it's your turn.
Next, yeah. All right.
Last one of spring.
Ring. Boy. What important and basic tools does the community lack? Or where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things? What is an important and basic tool does the community lack? Wheelbarrows. For some reason, no one really knows why, but wheelbarrows just have a tendency to disappear. It's like you have them and then they're gone.
I love it.
Someone takes them. Who knows? Gremlins. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Okay. Let me adjust the dice real quick. What is going on here? I'm on the right tool. That becomes a 1. This becomes a 3. All right, Jeff, you can take your turn.
Okay, so I am going to discover. Yeah, I'm going to do another discover a new location because I got an idea for one. So up to the northeast corner, so east of the river, east of the Burning Hills, there has a new state has been forming, and the situation is it is growing. And it is the Union of Skeletal Socialist Republics, led by their leader, Raimundo, who has taken the various skeletal and zombie workers and have taken the teachings of pro-labor and have established their own communist state to the northeast of our land.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind drawing their territory.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love it. The Union of Skeletal
Socialist Republics. It's maybe it's also called it could be also called the zombie curtain or something like that.
Nice.
The bone curtain.
Yeah. All right.
Mr. Necromancer, we're asking you to tear down that wall.
Okay. So Jeff, that was your new location. All right, cool. Bert, that means you're going to move us on to Summer.
Summer. Queen of Diamonds, a project finishes early. Which one and why? What's Orc leader scheme in the transport system? Transport system finishes early.
Okay, transport system is done.
Nice.
Yeah. They find that while blitzed out on alcohol, vodka made from the potatoes, that the voices in their heads are actually really good engineers.
Oh, okay.
They paint it red, it goes faster.
Mm-hmm.
Who are really good? I love it. Okay. That means the Orc leader scheme. If I'm correct, that moves to 1. And Bert, you got to take your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to pose a question. So here in the Thunder Rift, the Great Mountains have been keeping us pretty much segregated from the rest of the world. Other than the mountains, what force kept us protected and why is it failing?
Okay. Jeremy, you got to answer that first.
So what other force beyond the mountains was protecting us? Why is it failing? I'm going to just go on a knee-jerk reaction because we had all the weird little baubles with the elemental things and whatnot. I'm going to say that there must have been some sort of weird elemental like Gaia spirit or some sort of bullshit that was really into this place and looking over us. But we maybe have thrown a kink in that, and maybe old Mother Nature doesn't love us quite as much as she used to.
Nice.
Dan.
I was kind of thinking something similar-ish, but more like maybe it was the old gods themselves were kind of keeping things separated. But as we ousted them, that was also ruined as well.
Okay. Let's see. How do I want to answer? Mountains, isolation. What else kept the Thunder Rift safe? Why is it failing? The death of the halflings. Because not only was the Thunder Rift, it was the only place halflings existed. Why? Because of the rest of the world used the Thunder Rift as their shithole. And now that the halflings are gone, the shit isn't getting disposed of, which means people aren't throwing shit in there anymore, which means they're now looking at this as, oh, it's just not a shithole. That is a swath of well-defended territory. Maybe we should make it ours. That's my answer. Jeff.
So we are all familiar with the various elemental orbs, the water orb, the earth orb, etc., fire orb. The one that had been kind of keeping us most protected was the heart orb. And it has apparently gone missing.
Oh.
You're a tree.
That's great. Okay, cool. So that was Bert's turn. Bert, did you want to answer your own question?
Yeah, and so yes, it is failing because of the orbs have been unearthed, discovered, some of them destroyed, and heart is indeed missing because the heart element was linked to the halflings, which were the heart of the rift.
Oh, wow.
Tasted so good.
Okay. That means it's for Bowdy's turn.
All right, summertime, right?
Yep.
All right, let's roll that nonsense. See what we got here. Alrighty. Predators and bad omens are afoot. You're careless and someone goes missing under ominous circumstances. Who? Or predators and bad omens are afoot. What measures do you take to keep everyone safe and under surveillance? If I do the second one, I don't reduce project dice this week. But you know what? Might be worth it. Because it is kind of my job. I am kind of the one who watches over things. Well, there was talk of people maybe wanting to come into our borders and settle us, and we've got this damn hide. I think it's time to really, basically, let's start a Cold War. Who am I kidding? We've got the USSR up there. We've got bugs coming in. We've got outside attackers. It's time to start an arms race, in my opinion. And you know what? I'm not even above, like, we use the elemental orbs. And granted, it's the using of the orbs that caused us to gain this disfavor, but we use them to create new and better magical weapons.
Wow.
Double down.
Okay. And you said that the die don't reduce?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, it's your turn. Take your action.
Oh man. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So we could introduce something new, ask a question, or start another project.
Yep. Yeah, you can discover something new, start a project, hold a conversation.
You know what? Furbody is very much a one-track mind kind of guy. In going with that theme of what he just said, he's going to set up a series of, like, basically, we're going to be the best armored and armed people you ever found. We're going to set up an armory. Not just any armory. This is going to be like elementally fueled armory. Bigger, better, badder.
Okay. Roll me a d6.
With frying pans for days.
Jeremy, we are so much on the same page. I wrote down the project that I want to do, and we're like right in tune with what's going on here. This is hilarious.
6 weeks. Okay.
Hopefully I can find that same page and get on it too.
Okay. That means, Jeremy, that was your turn. So, Conifer, you're up.
All right, let's see. Let's see what summer has in store for me. Contingent within the community demand to be heard. Who are they? What are they asking for? Or contingent with the community have acted on their frustrations. What did they damage and why did they damage it? Is it permanent? But I feel like this is like a card that Jeff or Jeremy need to have.
Yeah. But you know who does have it?
I know, because I feel like either the skeletal, socialist republic's got to do something, or our Dick Metropolis has got to screw something up.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know which way the water flows here.
North to south.
North to south. Dang it. So that won't work. I was going to say maybe we're polluting the waterway, but maybe they're polluting the waterway then. Because, of course, they don't need water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're polluting the waterway that feeds to the metro. This can
Bastards.
be the spark. If that's what we're looking for. I feel like it is, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'll get writing it down. All right, we reduced the dice. That orc dude is now in charge, set up as ruler of the shit hills down south. And we've got 5 weeks left on the Elemental Armory. So Dan, it's your turn.
By now, I guess we need a wall. If they got a wall, then we need a wall.
Okay.
And we're
Make
probably
them
going to
pay
make
for
the
it.
orcs pay for it.
Shit. All right, roll me a d6.
Dang it. I'm rolling so high on these.
That's all right.
Okay. And if I ever accidentally skip someone's turn, just let me know. Because it's bound to happen eventually. That was Conifer, so that means it's my turn. We're on Summer. 7 of diamonds. Introduce a mystery at the edge of the map. Or an unattended situation becomes problematic and scary. What is it? How does it go awry? I feel like I could use this to really escalate the skeleton communist Cold War.
Oh, I'm going to do that in my next turn as well. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm going to escalate the shit out of it.
So the walls getting built, tensions are high between the metropolis and the skeleton. Like I said, the walls going up, weapons of destruction are being created on both sides. The skeletons develop a new weapon. What is it and how does it go awry? It is the skeletons make a meat melter. Did I ruin your plan?
Chuck, the skeletons, the USSR creates magical ICBMs that melt meat and turn people into undead. Literally in my notes.
Oh God.
Literally in my notes. That's what my project is going to be. This is
am
brilliant.
sorry.
I love it. No, I think it's great. It's in the game. I don't give a shit.
All right, let me copy and paste this in because I'm never going to type that fast.
So fantastic.
Okay, that's fantastic. All right, reduce die. This becomes a 4. I didn't even move that 5 clear up there. All right. I want to ask a question. The Metropolis and the Skeleton Cold War. What are the demands of each side that will let them stand down from this arms race? Does that make sense? Yeah.
What each one of them are demanding of the other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff, you get to go first.
Okay. So the demands of the Metro are that the skeletal socialist republics need to get back on the assembly lines, and the demands of the USSR is that they want a 3-day work week along with complimentary bone care,
Oh,
just like dental care, but it's bone care because they're basically a labor negotiation that went way fucking wrong.
right. Okay. Mifune.
Okay, so here's the point of problem. So behind the bone curtain, where the USSR has power there, for years and years, they were bringing a mineral source out of those mines to the north there that just can't be found anywhere. And as Jeff stated, it became a labor dispute. They're like, well, we're not going to mine anymore unless you give us more time off and more protections against these bad environments. You got to stop having these necromancers keep putting us. I mean, these aren't even my bones on my legs here. They just threw them all together. So we want more rights before we mine for you, and it has caused a screeching halt to happen. Of this mineral being mined, and this mineral is it's very important to the economy. It's used in all their building materials, so no walls being built, no great productions being made until these demands are met.
That is absolutely fantastic. For Bowdy.
All right, now I hate to throw a cog in the machine, but I'm going to go a little wonky here because I think maybe this gets into a little bit of the religious thing. They don't even eat, do they? And eating's pretty important. That means that they're basically abominations that shouldn't have any rights. So there becomes a movement of people that just say, to hell with you. You're nothing. You're dead. You don't eat. What do you even mean?
Okay.
So just an ideology. So like there's arguments of ideology of like, do they even really matter? They're not even real. They're just constructs. Of course, they disagree. Of course, they would disagree. But at the end of the day, they're just animated constructs. So fuck them.
Okay. Wow. Man, that's great. Conifer, top all of that.
I don't even know how to. The only thing that came to mind was put bodies back on skeletons.
Oh, so the Metropolis wants to re-meet the skeletons.
Re-meet.
That's beautiful. That's really good, Dan. That's really good. All right, I'll answer my own question. So the Metro, they want the skeletons to get back on the assembly lines. Skeletons want better work conditions, shorter work weeks. They want bone care. Skeletons have access to the only mines that produce this very important mineral. Of course, there's a religious aspect. Skeletons, they don't eat meat, therefore they're not real. They're abominations. So there's this religious tension. People in the Metropolis want to re-meet the skeletons to make them just regular people who will be on their side.
Who eat?
Who eats. Whereas re-meat versus de-meat.
What it is, man.
It's what it is.
It's what this has turned into.
Fuck, I don't know. Those answers are so good. What else are they fighting over? What else do they want? The zombies they're not as prevalent as the skeletons, right? But the zombies are there. And the zombies do eat. They don't need to, but they want to. So zombies have demands in addition to the skeletons' work week. And it's a little grim, and it doesn't necessarily work well with the skeleton with the USSR. Because it's communist. It's equal hands in things. They want the Metropolis to provide living food for them, living bipedal sentient food. And of course, that goes against the skeletons' beliefs because it's essentially slavery. And then that goes against the Metropolis because fuck no, you're not eating our people. So there's also tension in the bone curtain. All right. Fuck, that was a good question. Bert, was that your question? Whose question was that?
It was yours. Isn't it
What?
your turn?
Was that mine?
It was yours. It was your question.
Wow, what a good question. Oh, that was mine?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
So
God,
whose
I'm
was that?
smarter
Oh, man.
than I imagined. Who'd have put
You betcha.
it?
That was sure good.
God, I'm fucking stupid. Jeff, you're up.
All right. Let's do summer, right?
Summer.
All right. Here we go. Summer is a time for production and tending to the earth. Start a project related to food production, or I'll call perfect because this is exactly where I was going with. Summer is a time for conquest and gathering of might. Start a project related to military readiness and conquest. All right. So you already took my ICBM idea and put that into place. So here's what I've now decided to do. The USSR is the project that they've started is they're working on a squadron of silent Earth submarines so that they can get close to the metro and unleash their ICBMs like underneath the early warning, so like first strike capability. So that's the project, a fleet of silent Earth submarines or squadron or whatever. So that's my question. So that's okay. So that's what I was going to do for my. So now I have to think of something else to do because that was from.
First, you got to roll me a d6 because that's a project.
Okay. Can you roll negative numbers on this?
I don't think so. You can roll a 2.
2. Okay, 2.
All right.
All
right. So yeah, I'll reduce the dice while you think of your question.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, that I had that ready to go as the thing I was going to do, but then the card draw gave it to me, so now I have to come up with something else. Okay. So there is there is a significant amount of land in the Gauntlet Forest between the metro and the USSR. I want to know. So I guess the question is like, what does that land now look like, and who's left to embody it? Is sort of like where I'm at.
Is it basically a big old burnt out DMZ?
Yeah. So that's my question.
It's fantastic. Bert, you can answer
So
that
got an
first.
answer for this. So you're talking about the Gauntlet Forest area?
Yeah. Between
All right.
the metro and
So
the USSR.
here's what's going on. It's not just a myth that if you are over a certain height or under a certain height, you will be killed in the Gauntlet Forest. And this applies to fleshed or non-fleshed. So when people of certain height walk into that forest, they're never seen again, which makes it very difficult for armies on either side to go through unless they all have a homogeneous size.
Amazing.
Okay. Doing my notes. For Bounty.
I'd like to double down on that being a very difficult battlefield because not only that, but there are rumors that the harpies still fly. And anything shiny or special does tend to get yanked away. So either side tends to get robbed blind by these harpies.
Fantastic. All right. Conifer.
I suggest that we rename it to the Gauntlet Forest.
Okay.
If you're running the Gauntlet.
Yeah, you're running the Gauntlet, yeah.
And just tripling down, there's also rumors about funny hats.
Yeah.
Granting some safe passage. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're still manipulating this somehow as gods, I assume. So,
yeah.
And I think funny hats were my idea. So, They're
Okay.
staying.
All right. So it's my turn to answer. Who asked that question? Jeff, you made a project. Okay, Bert asked that
No, I think
question.
it was me. It was me
Jeff asked
because
the
my
question.
project came from the card I drew, and so I had to do something else on top of it.
Oh, okay. No, you came up with the Earth's submarines for your project.
Yeah, but that was
his card.
from my card. My card.
Oh,
let me do
okay.
that.
See, this is why I asked, because I get confused. All right, so I answer.
You thought you asked the question again.
I
didn't you?
did.
You're
No,
like,
I
oh,
didn't.
That's
I
two
thought-
in a row for all check. Look at me. Ah.
Well, that guy's real wiseacre there. He's so smart.
So who occupies there? Who's left to embody it? So there's the harpies, right? And if you go in there, you're gonna die if you're too tall or too short. But it's rumored at night you can hear someone singing in the forest. And if you try and find who it is, all you'll ever come across is a fox. You're welcome. There goes Jeff.
What does the fox say?
I'm not.
You have to play the game to find out.
To play the game.
Yeah, Jeff, do you want to answer your question?
Yeah, I like everything that's been here so far. I also like the idea of it's like this scorched DMZ, and there's like these flapping flags of flying dicks that are just washing through the wind, and occasionally you hear like the flapping of like the harpies overhead, and yeah, I like all of that mixed together with just this scorched earth DMZ and the carcass of an old human resources department
Sitting like in the middle of it.
right in the middle, and all of his stems around that.
All right. Okay, so Jeff, if I'm correct, that's the end of your turn, yes?
That is right.
So that means we move on to Bert.
This is my second summer card.
Second summer.
All right, there we go. It is 2 diamonds. Someone new arrives. Who? Why are they in distress? Or someone leaves the community. Who? What are they looking for? Okay. Someone new arrives. So we've established that the barrier is breaking down. So we've got a tribe of nomadic barbarians coming over the wall from the western side here. And what was the second part of that? Why are they in distress? They're in distress because, let's say, somehow the great USSR has been spreading their worldview, and now their undead workers won't work either. And they're coming over here because this is the root of the problem, and they're blaming us. All right, so for my turn, I'm going to make a statement. The city that's on top of the Great Mesa is essentially it's neutral.
Okay.
I was gonna
So
try
all
and rope them into
negotiations
this.
between the USSR and the people of the lowlands happen on top of the mesa.
Nice.
Okay, so everyone else gets to add to that as well. So no one can disqualify an existing statement on this. So we're just adding to it that it's neutral, like Switzerland. Negotiations happen there. For Bowdy, what are you adding to it?
It's a yes and.
So some sort of weird enchantment is happening there. Whether it's some sort of interdimensional singularity, I don't understand the nonsense of it. But disputes, like things, you can't die there on that spot. Like you could chop somebody to pieces, but they just come right back together. And like, that's why you do it there. You could do all sorts of crazy shit to each other, but you're going to come right back.
That is fantastic. Okay, Conifer.
Prevents political assassinations and other things like that from taking place. So
Exactly. That's why
have
they
a
would
question.
do it there.
Yeah.
How does that magic impact the undead ambassadors who are already dead?
Oh, that's a good question. So good, in fact, that I think we need to save that for someone else's turn. If
Okay.
no one else asks
Okay.
that question, my next turn, I will devote to that question.
I mean, I'll toss out there basically what I'm thinking. Have you ever watched the anime X? Where basically right before they do a big fight, they create, or it's kind of like whenever Doctor Strange does the mirror realm. You kind of create a pocket dimension. You go in there, maintain, you can go in and do all sorts of crazy shit. You hop out, but status quo is maintained.
Okay. Like I said, we'll come back to that. If no one else wants to ask that, I will gladly ask that on my turn, so we can
good.
fully flesh that out. So that was Conifer. My turn. It's neutral. Negotiations happen there. You can't die from violence. No political assassinations can happen there, so it's a safe place for leaders from both sides. Also, I'll point out that let me zoom in. Of course, it's the major trade hub, right? So not only is it neutral, not taking sides, you can't die there, so it's safe to do negotiations. They control so much of the trade that both of these, countries are very dependent on them. So both of them are walking on eggshells not to piss off the Mesa City. Okay. Jeff?
So it's like it's a raised plateau and everything
Yeah.
we talked about. Have we gotten into any details about like how that functions? Everything like how like the geography. Okay. So then I'm going to say that accessing the top of the mesa where most of this goes down is a little treacherous. And there is but fortunately there is a species of indigenous fat goats that people ride up and down the mesa sidewalls and everything to get to and from.
Nice. That means Bert. Do you want to answer your own question?
No, it's a statement.
Oh, it's a statement.
Anything else? Yep.
Okay. All right. So that was Bert for Bowdy. For us,
This is summer number 2, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's roll it and see what we get. All right. You discover a cache of supplies or resources. Had a new abundance, or a scarcity has gone unaddressed for too long. Oh, a cache of supplies or resources. I mean, it's time to go full scorched earth on these bastards. Of course, we find ourselves a new abundance. We dig deeper and deeper into the earth, and we find some sort of a heartstone of our own. We go deep into that gate, you see. And deep, deep within the gate, we find a new heartstone.
Nice. Okay. I got it.
Granted, it's kind of a darkened, a black heart, if you will, but it's still a new heartstone.
Okay. Very cool. I'll adjust the dice. Take your turn.
And I suppose the other thing is, what with this whole like de-meeting thing these skeletons think they're going to do? They think they're going to get the best of my people out there in the field. Hell no, not a chance. Why, the way to combat that is to have soldiers who don't have meat. Why, I want to start a whole production line of robo-choppers. So like the elite members of my clergy can become robo-choppers where they don't even have meat. They're just pure metal and violence.
That's fantastic.
So I guess I'll...
4, okay. Oops. All right, I will get that recorded. And Dan, why don't you take your turn?
Summer is fleeting. Discard the top 2 cards off the top of the deck and take 2 actions this week. So I guess we'll just draw 2 more times.
Just draw 2 more times. We'll discard those. And you get 2 actions.
I feel like somebody's got to be manipulating the dung beetles.
Okay.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
Your question is, who is manipulating the dung beetles?
I figure we need some of them, piling up on walls and other things like that going on.
It's going to be the orcs for my part of that answer, who now thrive and live and exist on shit and have started forming a symbiotic relationship with these dung beetles. Jeff, you want to answer that?
I don't think I can do better than that. I'm going to say that there is... Oh, he's got a raid.
Oh, snap. Laugh, love, Lindy. Thanks for that raid. I was actually watching the start of your stream before we started this here. We're playing The Quiet Year. It's a map-making game, so we're setting up the world for our season 2 of the Thunder Rift, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. So yeah, thanks for that raid. That's fantastic. Anyway, Jeff, I'll let you continue.
Okay, so I like your orc idea, so I don't want to do anything to conflict with that. However, I will say that the dung beetles are all part, like they're basically controlled by a massive queen dung beetle, and that's being controlled.
Beautiful bastard.
That's being controlled by the orcs. So there you go. Massive queen dung beetle. I like how we're just all on the same wavelengths. This is all kind of working out well.
Okay. Mifune, you want to answer that?
Yeah, so inadvertently, the USSR's ground submarines have been causing them to have to flee their natural habitats, and that's why there's more of them on the surface now.
Okay. Very nice. So Dan is for Bowdy.
Look, I don't understand the physics of it all, but reality has this weird pendulum effect. You've got law and order, and you've got these weird kind of magical, orderly bug type things. But as they come into prominence, you get these weird little chaos bubbles. And sometimes where those bugs have left their nest, you get these little bubbles where time and space seem to kind of warp illogically. And canny people might be able to manipulate such a thing.
Okay. Wow.
I'm at a loss on how to add to this.
You don't have to. You asked the question, right?
I did. It's nice to follow it up, with something after all the ideas have come through, but I don't know how to improve on that.
There's a lot there. And you get another turn after this too.
I know, which is the real problem. Gosh, what if the orcs and their dung beetle partners now are undermining the Metro and the USSR
Okay.
as a third faction vying for power?
Oh.
Because you know where there's more shit? The Metro.
That is 100%.
It's true. I like how Dan's always like, I don't know how to add to this. Bam, awesome idea. There we go.
This is like the next question, though. So,
so that's your
worse,
turn 2
Dan
question.
Doing that?
that's like
Or
a
Chuck?
statement that I'm sticking on
Or
top of
statement,
my
yeah.
question. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got Dan being like, I don't know if I got anything good. Bam, amazing freaking comment.
Okay.
And then we have Chuck like, that was such a good question. Who asked that? Oh, I did. That's right.
It was an accident, I swear. So for all of the new viewers, just to clarify, the USSR isn't the USSR you're thinking of. Jeff, who is this USSR?
It's the Union of Skeletal Socialist Republics. It's otherwise known as the Bone Curtain.
Yeah.
They're former skeletal and zombie laborers who want new things. They want a 3-day work week and they want paid for bone care.
Yeah.
We may need to
Metro
workshop
said no.
the Metro name to something that sounds more antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
We can come up with that. We can work on that. Anyway, so Dan, you're making a statement. Your statement: the orcs and their beetle partners are undermining both the Metro and the USSR to get at the Metro's shit.
Yeah. But also so that they can, get the resources of the USSR too.
Okay. And they are doing so through orc shit magic. By creating shit people and shit skeletons to operate as sleeper agents in both areas. Jeff, you're up.
So Dan, can you repeat your question one more time? I'm sorry.
The question or the statement?
The statement.
Oh yeah, the statement. Sorry.
The orcs and the dung beetles are basically collaborating to undermine the Metro and the USSR. Mm-hmm. The dung beetles want the shit from the Metro, and the orcs want the resources from the USSR. So they're trying to sweep them all.
Okay. I'm going to say that the orcs are probably via some sort of dung beetle magicry, just sort of building off what Chuck was saying, are killing some of their orcs so that they could then come back as zombie orcs and be accepted among
Are they stirring that unrest up there?
Yeah, so
sleeper agents.
They're more sleeper agents, yeah.
Skeletal sleeper agents. So
nice. Mifune.
So the true puppet master behind it all, of course, is the Spud Network. It is playing everyone against everyone for yet some undecided goal.
Okay.
Yeah, Mageddon still.
Yeah, Mageddon's coming. For Bowdy.
Man. Well, let's go back to the whole thing where we said part of what was protecting us is we had this weird, like, Gaia spirit or natural spirit trying to protect us. It turns out that Mother Earth, the World Tree herself, really just wants to smash these taters. It seems like there's some sort of divine providence that just wants to have a giant club smash the tater. So despite our sins, our transgressions against nature, somewhere deep down, Mother Earth does want to squash that tater.
Mashed tater. Okay. I've got it.
Hey, I brought it into this setting. I can try to take it out.
Listen, I can't, because when Bert ran the Quiet Year for the Weird Frontier setting, we created a cult that was obsessed with death, and then immediately had them all run off of a cliff to fulfill their own. So listen, that's fantastic. Okay, that was Dan's turn. That means it's my turn. I'll draw my, was this my second summer card? Yeah. 5 of diamonds. A project finishes early. What led its early completion? The weather is nice and people can feel the potential all around them. Start a new project. Now we're finishing early and we are finishing the Robo Choppers. What led to its early completion is that man, this is, so follow me here. The clerics following Conifer and their nature magic, and the clergy of Forbauti working on these Robo Choppers teamed up together, and the clerics were able to imbue the faux halfling meat in such a way that it empowered the Forbauti clergy to work non-stop in like double time. They adjusted it. It's so good it fucking slowed down time, so the Forbauti clerics could work a matter of months in like a day. And that's what it was. That's why it finished early.
Nice.
All right. Okay. What was that question I committed my turn to asking? Because I forgot it.
What happens to the skeletons in the you can't die area?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. What happens to the skeletons on the Mesa village or city where no one can die? And McGavin, I'll let you answer that first.
They are temporarily reborn, like they are like while
Remeated.
within, yeah, they're remeated temporarily within the area of the mesa, but they obviously they shed the meat when they leave that mesa.
Okay. Mifune.
That's exactly where I was going. So I'm just going to add something to it. They are remeated, re-sleeved, but it's always the same outward appearance. Always look. So they just call them bobs. It's exactly the same, no matter which skeleton or how many skeletons. It's always the same body. It's always the same flesh.
Oh, that's awesome. Forbauti.
I mean, there's all sorts of illicit sex trades that goes on then there, because they've been away from their bodies for such a long time. And granted, you go up there for diplomatic reasons, but also you go up there because you get remeated. Well, what happens in the metro stays in the metro.
Okay, that's great. Conifer.
And took the idea I was going for there between Jeff and Bert both. So I gotta come up with something else.
Yeah, you do.
Sorry, I'm puzzled on this one. What else can they do? I wonder if some of them, gosh. What happens if they, well, I don't see that it matters. I was gonna say, I don't know if it would help if they could try to demeat themselves out of protest.
Well, that's a question right there. Some try to.
I mean, we did say it all comes back together. So maybe you can get some weird like S&M nonsense where like you could do some terrible stuff to yourself but it just goes right back. So you can really push the limits if you want to.
Because I was kind of thinking about the crazy cultists, the McGavin cultists way down south. Come
You
up
could
here.
eat yourself.
Maybe this is like a pilgrimage for them. I know this is like a variation from the question that was asked, but
No, it's fine. They try to demeat themselves and they try to make a profit from it by selling that meat to others who want fresh people meat without the legal repercussions. See, that kind of kicks off what I was thinking, because some of them, I'll go the other direction. Some of them, when they re-meet, it brings back their re-meated or their flesh body wants and desires. And some of them abandon the cause and try to just stay in the mesa forever because they miss having flesh and genitals and the ability to eat food. But I don't think the mesa is really keen on people immigrating. Yeah, that's going to be my answer to that. And with that, Jeff, take the last summer card.
All right. 4. Okay, the eldest among you dies. What caused the death? Or the eldest among you is very sick, caring for them and searching for a cure requires help of the entire community. Do not reduce project dice this week. So who is among us? So who would that be?
Conifer the god is ill.
So is it actually the gods?
It could be. I mean, you can interpret that absolutely any way you want. You could say one of your own gods has been stricken ill with something. It could be one of your oldest worshipers or your original servants, like maybe, Jack the Jacker, the Lumberjack.
What if you remember that lizard arm that Conifer put on himself? It
Yes.
keeps regenerating himself. But what about the human body? What if that side of things is being subsumed, as it were, by the arm?
Okay.
Conifer ascended to godhood, but not his arm.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was just going to say Raimundo,
The arm is taken on a life.
Ooh.
leader of the USSR, head comrade, died.
Nice.
And what caused his death? The re-meeting that happens on the mesa.
Oh.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah. That's a spicy skeletal meatball.
Oh, wow. That opens up things because you can't die on the mesa.
But he died off when he shed.
Wow.
Like that top hat and 2 coal eyes that kept him alive just stopped working.
All right. And then, okay. So I guess I'll hold a discussion. So I've written it down. We've got 4 fairly major factions: the Bone Curtain, the Metro, the Spud Network, and the Orc Dung Beetle Alliance. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to get my violent cult of self-mutilating McGavin worshippers up in this business. And so I want, so the question, or actually, I guess it would be a statement. Both of the main factions, the Bone Curtain and the Metro, are trying to court the violent cult of self-mutilating McGavin worshippers because of their fearsome, ruthless, terrible reputations to their side. How are they doing this? So I guess that's the question. Or no, wait. I don't know what's better to do, a question or a statement in that. Like they're trying to court them, or how are they trying to court them?
I guess it kind of works out about the same either way. Because if you say
I'll
they're
just
courting
say,
it,
I'll just say question. How are they trying to court them? Because then it gives me the option one way or the other at the end.
Okay. Mafuna, you get to answer this.
Yeah,
First.
I got lost on that. So, who's trying to court the McGavin worshippers?
Both sides are, but how
sides.
are they trying to?
But there's 3 sides. So are all 3 sides courting, or
Well, the Spud Network, as far as I understood it, they were an insidious group that people don't necessarily know about, right?
okay?
Like,
So
meaning,
you're
like,
including the dung beetles and the orcs as not a group.
right? Are the Orc Dung Beetle Alliance, are they aligned with the Metro?
No.
no.
Okay. But are they considered in power as strong as the Metro?
No.
I think that they're considered just unrelated between
Offcast. They
USSR.
live where everyone else dumps their shit. So
Because I feel like the central conflict here on the surface,
the Metro and the USSR.
Metro USSR, but
Right.
there are puppet masters and other X factors that are messing around with it. So I
Right.
feel like the 2 central players are the ones.
Okay, so the USSR
Trying
and
to-
Metro are trying to court the violent McGavin worshippers. How?
Okay. All right. So how? So the bone side, the USSR is trying to court them because even though all the halflings are dead, their corpses are still around.
That's good.
And of course,
skeletons,
having like
bro.
a halfling bone is a sacred relic amongst the McGavin worshippers. So they're courting them with bone reliquary of halflings who have gone before, killed by McGavin, because they were all killed by McGavin. So they are touched by the holy. As far as the Metro, this is his home. He built this castle that we are running these schools out of. I mean, you got to support the McGavin's alma mater, right? This is the very room that he slept in.
Of flying dicks.
Yep. So they're playing on that.
Okay, wow, yeah. For Bowdy.
Well, I think over on the USSR side, they might do some courting with the bone bows or the bone weaponry. They got plenty of bones they can donate. You know, that just makes sense. But on the other side, getting a little bit more nefarious, I'd like to piggyback on an earlier idea. Remember how there was that evil omen that lately lots of children get born with the short legs? People don't like that much. In fact, they don't want them to be seen. So there start to be camps that are put up near the they gather up these ill-omened children and deliver them to that horrible group of people. I'm so sorry. I'm not a bad person. I'm a horrible person. They're feeding these children to that cult.
Oh, fuck. Dan.
I wasn't quite going to go that far, but that's actually about the same direction I was going to go. That there was going to be like under the table meat dealings with them from the Metro, but now I got to come up with something else. What does the Metro? Obviously, what their medical science that they have. Like they can offer them advances in becoming more like McGavin.
Okay.
But now I got to come up with something for USSR because, of course, everybody's basically capitalized on all the bone trade that you could possibly want with them. So
Yeah.
what else do they have? Maybe they're giving them a little bit of those resources that they're producing on the side.
Oh, yeah, like the rare minerals.
The rare minerals.
So they're crazy, but they have like maybe some awesome stuff due to that.
Man. No, I have to fucking answer this shit. God damn. All right, we're going to go with the Metro. What is the Metro doing to court the McGavin worshippers? Well, I'm going to say this relationship started rocky because they knew that McGavin had his beloved donkey Chubbs. So they were going to try and sacrifice donkeys to the McGavin worshippers until the McGavin worshippers killed them all for that. So the Metro has a massive donkey breeding program now. So they can provide the McGavin worshippers with an unlimited amount of donkeys. Okay. And still working off McGavin lore. The thing that McGavin hated right underneath halflings was foxes. So the USSR has promised and is trying their best to provide the annihilation of every fox in the rift, and regularly delivers massive bundles of fox pelts. Okay. Jeff, do you want to answer your question?
Yeah, because it's a really good one. So I'm going to build off of what you just said. Not just delivering them, but delivering them in the form of fox-furred loincloths. The Metro is countering by providing silver belt buckles.
Oh, God.
It's a violent cult that Southwest. They all wear fox fur loincloths and silver belt buckles.
Okay.
Gifts. Powers that be.
Okay. That will wrap up summer. Next week, we're going to try and knock out fall and winter. And then we'll be ready to move into this thing. As Alexandria RPG, thank you for that raid. You come in right as we're getting ready to say goodbye. We've been doing the Quiet Year. World building. It's a map making game. World building for our season 2 of Thunder Rift. Which has turned into just an absolutely just fantastically insane thing. So, but yeah, we're at time. We're going to wrap. We've gone over. Let's do our closing plugs. Going down the list. Jeremy, what do you want to plug?
Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, you got maps, you got RPG assets. There's even some 5e modern classes you can check out. Why not?
There you go. Jeff, what do the Lollygaggers got going?
Yeah, Friday. Normally we got a game going. We're trying to figure out if we're doing anything on Friday. But normally we'd have something on Friday. We might not this week. Saturday, One Ring Second Edition. We're back to that. Our campaign there. Monday we'll be doing Deadlands for Savage Worlds. You can catch a couple of faces from this stream in that game. And yeah, that's it.
Cool. Bert.
Yeah, this Friday on twitch.tv/Steam Steel Murder, running our BX Dungeons and Dragons game. We're playing in the Mystara world. This Saturday, some of the folks here will be joining me on the official Goodman Games channel for some Weird Frontiers, a horror western using the Dungeon Crawl Classic system. That's pretty much it for this week. We're taking Sunday off.
Cool. Right here on Defenders, tomorrow night, 9:30 Central. We're actually doing more of the Quiet Year, but we're going to be doing it with the Watercolors and Warriors crew. We've added a couple people to that crew. And we're doing this because we're going to be running an Over the Garden Wall themed game. We're going to call it Through the Hedgerows. And we're going to be doing it using the Tales from the Loop system once we get into it. So if you want to check out our world building, that'll be tomorrow night. Friday, 10 p.m. Central, Joe's running more Anvia. Joe's making his own game, and we're playing in a campaign in it now. Saturday, 1 p.m. Central, over on twitch.tv/Grim and Perilous Plays. We're doing Fallout 2 D20. I'm running it. You can catch Dan and Jeff over there. And like Bert said, Saturday night, Goodman Games Official. And of course, oh God. Yeah. It crept up on me. Yeah, like I said, I'll be hanging out with all these other people and a lot of the other things. So, yeah, that's all I fucking got. So, I guess until we see you next time, start fires, do drugs, and support your local skeleton labor union. Deuces. Of course, I don't have the end screen up because why would I? There it is. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Good question.